Hey everyone, and welcome back to this channel, Financial Wealth Community. And I'm Jackie Stewart. So today, guys, we are talking to the young people that you have in your life that you are going to support. So it's the middle of August, and what we have is a lot of people are going back to uni over the coming weeks. And also you have school children who are starting a new academic year. So how can you help them and support them? Now is a good time to start the conversation around money. So let's start with your university, young people. So if you have people going to university, what you want to do is sit down with them and do a budget. Do a budget with them. They may not want to do it initially because some people think budget's about restrictions, and it's not about restrictions. As you know, if you've been watching my videos, budgeting is about being able to have a plan. You're planning and being able to cover your costs. So what are the main costs that these university students have? Well, they have their tuition fees. And here in the UK, it's pretty high, right? So we've got tuition fees. They also have their rent, so their accommodation costs, their food. So how are you going to help them to navigate that and to be responsible for making sure everything can get covered? So they may have access to grants and maintenance loans that will cover some of their expenses. And also they probably have mum and dad, the bank of mum and dad as well. But it depends on how much mum and dad can actually help them. Not everybody can. So you want to both do the budget together. And so if mum and dad are going to be helping to support, then obviously you will know what their costs are and you will be able to also plug that into your own budget. But this is about them, right? So let's get them to see the figures, to see the numbers. And if there are shortfalls, then it's a conversation, isn't it? What can they do? What have they got skills in that maybe they can offer to get some income? They could do a part-time job, right? Or they could do some online tuition. There's always students who are now going to be going into a new academic year that may need support with their GCSEs, for example. And maybe your university person can be the one that supports them through that and gets paid for it. So you want to get this budget down on paper so they can see it and you can see it as well. And then you also want to let them know that they have access to some student discount apps. They've got one, I think there's one called Uni Days and another one called Student Beans. So Google these, look this up with them, let them know that when they use certain shops, they can get discount to it as well. You want to do this together because what you are doing is you are now making your young person responsible. And by talking about money, it's not going to be taboo in your family. So you're helping them because life after uni, they're going to have to pay back those tuition fees or the grant or whatever it is that they've received, right? So you want to get them from now being able to manage their finances. And then for those of you who may have school children, so children who are going into another academic year, again, it's a good time to start looking at money if you haven't already. So how can you talk to them about money? So first of all, it's to have the conversation. And obviously, this will have to be age specific. So obviously, if you're dealing with younger children, primary age, from 6, 7, 8 upwards, it may be that you give them £1 or £2 a week pocket money, right? Just to get the conversation going and get them into a routine where they understand how to manage their money. Or it may be that they're a bit older, so you may give them pocket money up to £10, £50, whatever your budget allows. And so again, you want to teach them about saving from a young age. So if you're giving them £10, teach them to save £1 to £2, right? Or if it's £50, it might be that you teach them to save £5 to £10, whatever. And so the rest they can spend on what they like. So what you can do is get them to open some bank accounts. So 2 bank accounts ideally would be good. So you've got a current account, so that's where they can be spending for their little sweets or their little toys, whatever it is. Or if they're saving for a specific thing, you want to also open a savings account so they can see that the savings is the one they don't touch, and it's starting to grow, right? So you want to be doing this with your young people from an early age. Like I said, it just stops it from being a taboo subject. And another thing you can do is get them to use their numeracy skills, put it into action. So teach them about percentages, APR, annual percentage rate. Get them to understand what that means. So then when it comes to mortgages or loans and things like that, They'll understand how to do the calculations. And if you can't remember yourself, the school of Google and YouTube is really, really good. Or pay a university student to teach you so you can teach your young person. It's a win-win. It's all about us building community together. So if you know of a young person and you are able to support them, you are their community. They are our children. We can no longer expect the government to do everything for us. So it's our children. So let's get involved in teaching them about how to manage their money. Thank you so much for listening. And if you do show this to your young person, I hope you have a really good academic year. You've got this. You can do it. Work hard, and then you will reap the rewards. See you all soon. Thank you so much.